Hello everyone, today I bring you another Should You Watch. It's American Pie Presents Girls' Rules. First a little backstory. When I first came across this on Netflix, I didn't even know there had been another American Pie. It was a pleasant surprise. I came to this film as a fan of the series. The plot this time being friends banding together and, quote, harnessing girl power. I was a little hesitant about the message being put before the movie, but I went in keeping as open a mind as possible, and thankfully it focused on the bond between the friends. It feels more modern and progressive than the older films without being too over the top. The American Pie series of films are a sex comedy visual comfort food, and I was ready to tuck in. I'll say this from the start. This Should You Watch has a caveat. It's a yes for those who've already seen all previous American Pie films and know what they're getting into and have enjoyed them. If you didn't like previous titles, then you probably won't like this. Play the intro. Oh right, I don't have an intro yet. Well anyway, on to the video. We are introduced to the girls individually. It wouldn't be cruel to say that none of the actors are particularly well known, but all have 20 to 40 acting credits to their names. The acting in this film is good enough that if you know what you're getting into. Nobody here is likely to be up for an Oscar for this film, but people generally watch these for their raunchy fun and sexual hijinks of the main characters. The film starts out with Annie Watson, one of the main girls outside her boyfriend's house, being called in by his mother, and then she proceeds to scale the side of his house and enter his bedroom through his window, trying to have their first time before he goes off to college. They are interrupted by his parents carrying a homemade pie, making a callback to the original film's humiliating connection between pie and sex. Annie is your everyday nice girl in a relationship with a boyfriend trying to lose her virginity. Next we meet Kayla, already having sex with her boyfriend. After she goes to the bathroom, she snoopes through his phone and finds what she suspects to be signs of cheating, which is resolved later on. But he walks in, finds her snooping, and they break up. The third character, Michelle, is the cliched high-achieving nerdy friend, with awards filling her room, plenty of sex toys, and a carnal fascination with John F. Kennedy. The last of the ladies, and one of the few references to the past films, is Stephanie Stifler, a sexually liberated and confident person who we see at the start seemingly about to engage in some explicit behaviour in the privacy of the boiler room with the creepy principal, before recording him in a compromising position, threatening to expose his perverse behaviour online and blackmailing him into retiring, thereby making way for the new principal and her son to enter the story. The chemistry between the friends seems quite natural, and the two parent-sibling relationships also seem believable. Annie's boyfriend is shown and described as basic bro bag, and doesn't seem to make any effort to break out of this mold, which makes later events in the film seem somewhat predictable. Shortly after the start of the film, he moves away to college. There aren't exactly huge transformations and character arcs in this film, but with each of them only really changing in minor ways. The biggest changes coming from who the characters end up with, as opposed to who they first thought they wanted. The titular girls' rules is an agreement between friends, described as a pact in a nice throwback to the original film. The girls are all seeking to fix their romantic lives, setting prom as a deadline, giving themselves 5 weeks. Contrary to some comments I've seen made of the film that the sex scenes have been torn down, I think this is in keeping with the focus of the girls using the pact to better their situations, not just lose their collective virginities like in the original film. Speaking of the pact, it's made up of Annie wanting to have sex with the person she loves, Kayla wanting to find a guy that appreciates her, Michelle seeking a guy who is intelligent, understanding, and kinky, with Stifler being advised to look for a guy who genuinely cares about her. The rules are set to support each other, keep each other accountable, and have achieved these rules by prom. The next day after making this pact, the girls individually meet the new guy, Grant. Michelle meets him by injuring herself while running into a door as she stares at him, with a surprising cameo from Danny Trejo as the school's janitor. Kayla meets him and uses him in an effort to make her ex-boyfriend jealous. Stifler plays lacrosse when she sees him and hits him with a lacrosse ball. The fact that she plays lacrosse is a nice touch, since Steven Stifler used to play lacrosse also in the original films. After the rules have been agreed on, two of the girls take a trip to a sex shop, where they are unknowingly introduced to a new character, who they later find out to be their new principal and mother to the new guy, Grant. Annie is reintroduced to the principal and Grant for the first time in her house while she is testing the item that was suggested by the principal. Half an hour through, all the girls have met Grant and their relationships are about to be tested. A montage ensues where it becomes apparent who each of the girls are meant to be with, even if they aren't yet aware of it. Towards the end, events occur to push each character in the direction of the right person. In the final scenes, they attend a party with the right people, coming together to celebrate that they've each succeeded on the goals they set. Producer Mike Elliott helmed this film. He was also behind American Pie Presents Bandcamp, both direct-to-video films and unlikely to make any noticeable impact on public memory. The soundtrack is an agreeable, fitting playlist of the girl power vibe. It doesn't have a great rewatch value, as my second viewing didn't really show anything that I'd missed the first time, but overall it is an enjoyable film about a group of likeable, if forgettable friends and their attempts to find love and better their lives in the last year of their high school lives. There were enough references for long-time American Pie fans, mentions of Bandcamp, scenes of the titular pie, familiar names, and Eastergate Falls being an attractive location. In my opinion, this doesn't overthrow the original trio of films in all their raunchy, comedic, slightly outdated glory. If you've enjoyed the previous slices of pie, this is an easy-to-watch film. Turn your brain off and have a bit of fun. I was hoping for an enjoyable film and my expectations were met. And that's it. Thank you for watching. A like and sub would be appreciated. Let me know what you thought of it if you watch it, and I'll see you next time.